Well, after taking that wretched trip down Little Wayne Boulevard, let's talk about an actual band. You know, metal, the stuff that we love to talk about here on this channel. Kvelertak with Meir, or some people will probably say Meir. Some people will say both are wrong and you suck at pronouncing things, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Well, let's talk about this album. This is their sophomore release, and this is an album that's able to combine many different styles of music in order to sort of hybridize into its own, I guess, little niche. Consider bands such as Baroness, whom the album artwork is actually done by one of their members, and you kind of get a little bit of a pigeonhole of the direction that we're heading here, only with much darker undertones than what we've heard on the last Baroness display, Yellow and Green. Now, bands that I think about whenever I've listened to this album range in various locations, anywhere from black metal roots to just weird metal such as Die Apocalyptian Rider, really are bands that come to mind, as well as also the Lord Weird Slothbeg or Slothbeg, whoever and whatever they call themselves this week, and also Baroness. There are a lot of nice elements of just old school rock and roll. There's a lot of just heavy metal in here, just the standard run-of-the-mill genre, and really, if metal's run-of-the-mill, that's probably the understatement of the century, of just plain old-fashioned raw black metal, which is able to be carefully, and wonderfully produced in order to make it sound a lot more accessible, and converge. Yeah, even converge. Because there's just a lot of things going on here, a lot of different just chaos occurring on this record. However, this picture, though seemingly painted by a psychopath, actually ends up being as beautiful as either Starry Night or something from MC Escher. Take your pick. This is an album that's 11 tracks in length, and for most of this album you're not going to see a song length that actually escapes the 5-minute mark until you get to the latter portion of the album. And to be perfectly blunt, this 4-minute song style, or this 4-minute song length for the band, really suits them very well because they're able to really disclose a lot of musical ideas within a short period of time and really just move on to the next musical evolution, the next musical idea. So with one song you may have something that resembles a little bit more of a dirty rock and roll or a doomsday rock and roll. You have a little bit of progression thrown in there, a little bit of converge, and then random black metal here and there, just really sparsing apart and somehow, in a weird way, interconnecting beautifully. And there you have it. That's what really can best explain the first half of the album, the very first portions of the album that you hear. It isn't until we get until tracks 8, 9, and 10 where we see an average song length of 7 minutes in length, and we start to see this band really expand their landscapes here. They really expand their songs into that dark and brooding length where you really have to do a little bit more, and you can actually see the band slowly metabolizing various styles into the same track with incorporation that almost makes you think a little bit of, well, maybe Between the Buried and Me? Nah, that might be going too far. But yeah, what they're able to do on this latter portion of the album is really create good song ideas, and they're able to take them on this long and wild ride that really incorporates all of the best elements of their sound. And whenever you consider the way in which this has been expertly produced, and the way in which they're able to combine and mold together various subgenres, and really kind of make them sound cohesive, you really have to give this band a whole hell of a lot of credit. There are many moments on this album where you're going to find yourself putting up your horns and just banging your head, and you kind of just get lost a little bit. You get lost in the world, and that's the one thing that makes this genre of music just so awe-inspiring for so many of us. The fact that music as itself is kind of a, dreamscape away from the day that we've had or the reality that we exist in. However, with bands such as this and heavy metal in general, it is kind of just a dreamscape away from everything, including the plastic dreamscapes made by artists such as the last one I reviewed, Lil Wayne. Yeah. With this album, I really feel a tremendous ability to kind of grow. Because with their first album, it really turned a lot of heads. It really was able to manifest a lot of ideas that this band was really going to be a positive impact in the future of our genre. And there's a lot of people that really loved this band's debut album and may feel a little bit, I don't know, pleased by this, or may feel as though the first one was a better achievement. I feel that this album is a tremendous achievement. Now, the one thing is that it's not going to catch as many people off guard as the first one did, because the first one just sprawled out of the gate and basically said, this is what we are, fuck you and fuck everybody else. And that kind of vision and that kind of announcement, that kind of introduction is something that is very powerful, something that definitely moves heads and definitely something that gains a lot of attention. This album does not have that same ability, considering it is their sophomore release. However, it is still going to turn heads of the new people that perhaps come in because of it. And that is what's going to continue this band's growing fan base to grow even further. Not to mention it's what's going to continue to bring people in and really explore this very, very interesting act. I really enjoyed this release. I think that this has a lot of trademarks of growth, and I'm really just excited to see what's to come with this band. It's one of those things where whenever you hear a lot of differentials within the same album, you really kind of wonder where they will go next, where they will explore next, where kind of their next cosmic journey will take them, and what avenues and subgenres of metal perhaps will be the next things for them to attempt. For right now, they have a very solid sound. For right now, they have exceptional production. The album art is absolutely beautiful, and oh yeah, the music is damn good. The songwriting is excellent. This is an album that really will come out of nowhere and will probably influence things come December. And the reason why is because this is a band that is continuing to showcase the ability to grow and continue to maintain power. So whenever album number 3 comes out, don't be surprised if it surpasses this one and actually creeps its way into top 10 lists, as opposed to where I see it right now, perhaps being within the 15 to 25 range. Very, very solid release. Really enjoyed the longer tracks on this album. However, the shorter tracks, they're no slouches either. I really love the fact that I finally got to use the band names Die Apocalyptian Rider and the Lord Weird Slothbag in a video, because I got a lot of, notches and vibes from this that really reminded me of those two bands. What do you guys think? Did you hear this album? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And really, what should be reviewed next? What should be next on the musical journey that is Coverkillernation? Oh yeah, this is where I should click end. Sorry.